Hi everyone, welcome to this episode of Pretty Coffee with Kristen. And what I want to talk to you today about is 3 things you must have before you start a business. You must have. When I started my very first business, which was a gift shop, these are 3 things that I had and 3 things that you must have before you start any business of your own. Okay, let's go back in time a little bit, shall we? I started my first business, which was a gift shop in a little strip mall plaza in our town. And I started that in my late 20s. I always knew that I wanted a gift shop. That was a dream. A dream. You know, even in high school, I didn't have a dream to go to college. I knew I was never going to college. I knew it wasn't for me. It was not for me. I didn't actually know that I was going to have a business because I really, really thought that I was going to be a wife and mother, which I was. And I really didn't know that I wanted a business and I thought about it for a few years. I thought about it, and the first thing I did, and the first thing that you need to do, that you need to have before you start a business is, number 1, you need to have a decision. A decision. It isn't enough to say, I want to own a business, I want to start a business, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to do something. It's not enough. That's a dream, believe you me, I love me a good dream. I love a dream, but the first thing you need to do is decide. You need a decision. I had decided that I wanted a gift shop. That was decided. That was clear. That was crystal clear. Decision. The second thing you need to do is, and I apologize, I've got an eye issue today. So I almost wasn't even going to do the show, and I said, no, you know what? You have to do a show even if you've got a jacked up eye. And I do. So you know what I'll do? I'll do that so I don't have to. There. Look at that. Look, easy fixes. Easy fixes in life. Oh gosh, let's get into number 2. The second thing you need to do, or you need to have before you start a business, is a plan. You need a plan. And I'm not even saying a structured, concrete, formal business plan. I'm not saying that because you know what? I've had several businesses and I've never had one. Never had a formal, concrete business plan. I've never had one. It's just not how I roll. But you need a plan. Doesn't need to be, like I said, doesn't need to be formal. It doesn't need to have spreadsheets, and that doesn't work for me. My plan is usually always a notebook, and hi Bonnie, it is a notebook and it is a pen, and I write it down. I write what I want. So that's what I did. That was the second thing, is I had a plan. What does that mean? I knew that I wanted a gift shop. What did I want in it? I had to decide what I wanted in it. And you know what I would do? Is I would pull up in front of I would drive through the strip, because it was the grocery store. We live in a small town, and it was a small little grocery store. And I would pull up after I got my groceries. I would sit out in front of there was an empty space, and what I would do is I would sit out in front of it, and I would dream about what I was going to put in there, and I would look in the windows, and I would decide, dream about what I would put on the walls, how I would do it, where the cash register would go, where the things would go. And I thought about it. I had a vision for it. I had a plan for it. So then when I did that, then I knew what I wanted in there. And what I wanted was a lot of things that would go in gift baskets, because that's what I started with. I started with gift baskets. And so I had gift baskets, I had gourmet foods, I had candles, I had bath products, I had all things that could go into that would go in gift baskets, and just cute things. Cute and pretty things. So that's what I decided. So I knew that was my plan. I knew what I wanted in it. I knew where I wanted things to go. I knew how I wanted it to look. I knew how I wanted it to feel. All of that I knew. So that was my plan. You know, when I say plan, I plan that. I knew I wasn't opening a bait and tackle shop. I knew I wasn't opening, I knew that. That was my plan. I knew that. So that's number 2, is a plan, whatever that means for you. And maybe it's a very formal business plan. Maybe it's spreadsheets and graphs and all of that. Maybe that's what you need to do. Do that. Me, it's I write on paper. I write it down. So that's how I roll. You roll how you roll, but have a plan. Number 3, and I think this is the most important thing of the 3. You have to have belief in yourself. You have to have belief in yourself. I never ever doubted that it would succeed. I never doubted it. I didn't doubt it. Not for a minute. I knew what I wanted. I had a vision for it. And I never doubted that it was the wrong thing to do. I didn't doubt that it wasn't going to be successful. I didn't doubt that I couldn't do it. I didn't know how to do it. I had no idea. I didn't know how to do a gift shop. I'd never worked in one. All I did was shop in them. I shopped in them. That was it. So I would go in shops and I would look around and I would think, what would I do different? What would I have? What would I do differently? What didn't make sense? What did make sense? What products made sense? What products didn't make sense? And I watched what people did. So that was my market research. Was what do I want in it? What do I want in it? And my belief that if I can do it too. I didn't know how. I had no idea how. I just started and I figured it out as I went. I just figured it out. And it was a success. It was successful. It was fantastic. I closed it because my boys were little and I didn't want to spend any more time away from them because it was a lot of work, a lot of hours there. I didn't want that anymore. So I closed it. It was successful when I closed it. It was just a decision. It was fantastic and it was done. So, but I never doubted myself. So let's recap, shall we? You have to have a decision. Decide whatever it is you want. Decide. Number 2, have a plan, whatever that means for you. Have a plan for whatever it is that you're going to do. Plan it out. Figure it out. And number 3, believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. If you doubt that you can do it, you won't. If you doubt that you can be successful, you've already failed. You've already failed if you don't believe you can do it. So, those are 3 things you must have before you start a business. I appreciate you taking the time with me. You can go to bringprettyback.com for more information, for more pretty. Thank you so much, and go out and have a pretty day.